Well, we're going to go over how to take a claim in Siebel's FNOL system, and this should help us throughout accessing it, throughout the claim itself. And if you have any questions, make sure you let a lead or supervisor know after the training, and we'll be more than happy to go over that with you. So let's go ahead and get started here. To access the remote desktop, you'll need to go to the scope for LilyPad or whatever carrier that you're trying to put that in for. Remember, Franklin does not go in here. It is to be done on the FMI website. LilyPad, however, you will be putting it in through the remote desktop. The link to remote desktop is going to be located right here on scope and on any of the scopes that you need to put the claim in this system with. So you want to copy that URL, paste it into your address bar of your browser and hit enter or go. Once the website populates, you're going to have two options. You'll have the option to install software or the HTML access. Here, we will not be installing the software. You will be using the VMware Horizon HTML access, the one that's highlighted below in yellow. So after you have selected to use the HTML version, you will be prompted to log in with the unique username and password information that you were provided by your supervisor that was assigned by Siebel's. So once you have entered that in, you want to go ahead and click on Login, and that's going to bring you to the background of your remote desktop. The remote desktop is going to look just like your computer. There's not going to be, any difference really, other than the icons will not look the same. Um, so there's two ways to access the FNOL system. If you have the background, if you have the icons on the background of the desktop, then you may be able to just click on EFNOL and the screen would load up asking you to log in. If you do not have icons on the background of the desktop, then you will have to type the address in, and the address is efnol.siebels.com:85 forward slash, I apologize, :8085 forward slash FNOL. And that is going to be the URL you need to go to access the FNOL. You can only do that once you have logged into the remote desktop. This link cannot be accessed outside of remote desktop. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So the username and password to log into the FNOL system is going to be the same as the username and password that you use to log in to the remote desktop. So they're going to be the same thing. If one changes, so does the other. Just keep that in mind when you're taking these in, or if you have trouble getting in, the passwords will be the same. This does not, it will not sync with the customer service website. That password may be different, but moving forward. All right, so here, what you want to do, this is going to be your start page. It's you select the company or carrier in which you're trying to input that claim for. So in this case, what we've got coming up is LilyPad. So there is where you would select LilyPad. Now, they're really strict about their opening. So thank you for calling LilyPad Insurance Company. My name is Tyler. How may I assist you today? Keyword being may. May I assist? They're really strict about that, and Siebel's does their own monitors on us. And if you do not say, how may I assist you, they could fail you on your monitors. So just remember that when you're taking these claims. Now, we would, again, make sure that we're going to select the company, LilyPad in this case, and enter the caller's policy number, okay? If for some reason they do not have the policy number, you can use the lookup tool on the left, which will allow you to search by name. Um, but if they hopefully they have that so that you can move forward. Okay. The next thing is going to be the date of loss. Okay. So a couple things to remember here. If there is a pre-filled storm, say for example, Ida. Well, when Ida came through, right there where it says storm, and right now it says day-to-day claims, which is what you use during a normal claim. But in the event they have a named hurricane or storm, Siebel's will put a specific entry in there. So if their loss is corresponding to that storm, you want to make sure you are selecting that storm instead of day-to-day claims, okay? If it corresponds with that date of loss. However, the day-to-day claims is going to be pre-filled in there, and you'll have to pick the date. So if the caller does not know the day, again, we use the date of discovery. And when did it happen? Okay, was it in the morning, evening, afternoon? Unknown really is not going to be acceptable, and we never want to use the default time of just 12 a.m. Try to get as close as possible. Like you can narrow it down by asking more probing questions. Like, well, I know you said that you didn't know exactly what time of day that it happened, but did it happen in the morning, around lunchtime, or was it in the evening? Try to get as close as you can to that time, okay? All right, so once you have done that, you've got everything filled out, go ahead and click on Next to proceed to the next screen. Now, this is going to be the policyholder's information. You want to make sure that you verify the insured's mailing address and the loss location address. They may be the same, but they may be different, especially in cases where, say, if this is like a vacation home or in the event that they have a PO mailing box. Um, Either way, verify the mailing address. One thing that will not change in this case is going to be the loss location address. That is the address of where the home is. Um, Houses really can't be, they can technically be moved, but they definitely don't just move overnight, okay? So that's one thing that you will not be able to change in their system. Now, once you have verified that information, obtain as many contact numbers from the caller as you can. You want to verify who the claim is being reported by. Anyone can report the claim. You may get another insurance company, which is not going to be very likely, but a public adjuster would definitely be. They may even have a family member call the claim in for them. That's fine. Um, just make sure that we get who is reporting that claim. All right, and you want to make sure that you obtain a good email address because there is a lot of contact that happens over email nowadays compared to before. So we want to make sure that we have their email address. Don't just check no email available because you don't feel like asking. That's not acceptable. We have to ask each question on the form, never omitting any of them, okay? So you want to check for prior loss to make sure that the claim hasn't already been reported. Usually if it has already been reported, you would receive a error whenever you try to enter that loss date at the previous screen telling you that there was a duplicate claim. So in that event, if there was a duplicate claim, there's no point in opening another one. But if the claim was due to a different loss or a different peril, I apologize, then yes, then you should select continue to proceed in that case. If not, back up and probe the customer some more to figure out more about their existing claim, okay? Because that's something we don't really do here. And just like the FNOLs that you guys are pretty familiar with, like slide or any kind of insurance, you're gonna have a cause of loss. What made that property that they had insured, whether it be a house or anything, um, go away or be damaged. So in this case, it's homeowners insurance. So what caused the loss? Was it fire, hail, liability, which would be like my child threw a baseball through the neighbor's window, lightning, theft, water, or wind? A lot of hurricanes are going to be considered wind. If it reaches a specific level, it could be considered catastrophic. And then that would be one of your options in the drop down as well. Okay. So the triage questions is what we're going to be going through once you select the kind of loss. Um, Based off of the loss that you selected, in this case, wind, it will readjust its questions to fit the type of loss you selected. So let's see, is there damage to the roof? Yes. Um, is there an opening in the roof? Is that roof currently opened? Is there water coming into the building? You know, is there a hole in the roof? Now it's raining in the building. I know it doesn't give you a lot of room to elaborate here, it being multiple choice, but we will get our chance on down the line here. If so, try to identify where the water is coming from. The whole key point here is to get as many details about the loss as you can, as swiftly as possible, and as accurately as possible. Don't forget, it's a fact gathering mission. Opinions really don't come into play here. But if the insured says they believe something may have caused it, then I mean we could definitely document that. But the key thing here is gathering the facts. Okay, you guys, just gather the facts. Now, after you have went down these triage questions, um, the house could be unlivable in some cases. They may not be able to stay in the home. In that case, we need to make sure that we document the address that they will be staying at. And it is imperative, very, very imperative that we get a good contact number for that person. The reason being is once this claim has been submitted here, we're going to need to send the escalation form over through the CTB tracker advising the on-call adjuster that this insured has nowhere to stay tonight and they need to reach out about setting up loss of use. Okay, so remember, you must get the address of where they're staying. If unknown, then they don't know right then. We can't make them know if they say do not have family in town and have not even, thought about this yet, because there's like a really bad loss. It's hard to think about, where am I going to stay tonight and things like that. All you could think about is all of the things that you had that went away. But also, guys, make sure you're being empathetic. um, Empathy and sympathy are two different things. If they've experienced a loss, make sure that you're asking them, are they okay? You never know. And they may say all of the people that resided in the house went through, but their pet could have passed. It could have been anything. So keep that in mind, okay? Or it could even be precious property that was heirlooms. And that meant the world to that particular insured. That's all they had left of a family member that had passed away. We never know anyone's specific situation. So that's why it's very imperative that you're always empathetic when taking any claim, home or auto. All right, so we're kind of getting to the wrapping up portion of the claim. It's really not that much to these. Um, you want to detail any other damages or additional losses. So if anything else was damaged, you want to document that property there. If there were additional losses, You want to document those losses as well in the provided spot. Miscellaneous, think about that as things the adjuster needs to know or opinions of the insured, so to say. Um, there's no really right or wrong information that goes there, but it does need to pertain to the claim, okay? All right, so once you click on next, you'll be asked to verify the mortgagee or lien holder, okay? So what we want to do here is just verify the lien holder. Are you still with Central Loan Administration? No. If no, then document in the comments who their mortgage company is. If yes, then verified yes. Either way, you verified yes. And then in the comments, if it's not Central Loan Administration or whichever mortgagee company is listed there, then, well, pre-filled there. They all should not necessarily say Central Loan Administration. Some may say MetLife or whoever the mortgage company is. That, if it does not match what the insurer tells you, if they have it, put it in the comments, select verified, and then go to next. All right, so I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with what these are. So after you verify the mortgage company, you're going to need to read these mitigation scripts back to the customer. I can't stress how important that it is that we do this because um, every party has their duties after a loss. An insured must keep the loss from damaging further property and getting worse, and the insurance company must hold up to their end by, as long as the loss happened per the policy conditions, uh, pay to replace or indemnify the insured. Okay. So the insured sometimes needs a reminder, which we will remind them right now with these mitigation scripts, that they need to make every attempt to protect their property from further damage and take photos and save all of the receipts for your adjuster for consideration. The key word is consideration. We never tell them anything is going to be covered. Remember, the only person that can say a specific event or loss is covered or not by the policy is a licensed adjuster. Okay, the licensed adjuster. So we advise them to keep everything and give it to the adjuster for consideration. If they haven't already, take pictures or videos of the things that they lost. You want to read off each item. Check each item as you read it off. You will not be able to proceed without checking the item off. Do not proceed without reading the item to the caller. Don't just check them and then move forward because we will be reviewing these calls for accuracy. All right, so the last step here is going to be the mitigation company. All right, so on this page, you will be provided with a copy of the claim. No, you cannot email that to anybody. You just want to make sure you provide this claim number to the caller and check the mitigation company, provide that phone number to the caller, and warm transfer them over to that number. Um, After that, you're gonna have like a little comments section, and in that comment section will be anything that maybe the adjuster needs to know about it. So he may need to know that, say, the caller speaks Spanish, they're gonna need a translator, or anything that pertains to the claim. If you transferred them over to mitigation and mitigation accepted, and said they would take the call over, I would put that in the comments. You need to make sure that we're as detailed as possible in all of our notes when you're documenting a loss for someone. All right. So, pretty much that is it. That's the end of the FNOL. Uh, the very next step that you would take after that would be bring up your CTB tracker and make sure that you've documented all of those details. Um, as far as the policy number, claim number, first and last name in your CTB, and your notes that you completed the FNOL on the company site. Again, if you have questions, make sure you're reaching out to someone and asking before moving forward. Or if you're having trouble getting logged in to the remote desktop or any of the EFNOL software, that you're reaching out to a supervisor or lead immediately. You should be logging into this at the beginning of your shift, every shift, and reporting whether or not you can get in, or it, well, not whether or not you can get in, but if you have any issues. All right, well, thank you for joining the Slide FNOL training. Until next time.